We have so many questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So then I think one important thing is when we develop some anger with someone, the anger actually, you see, need some kind of target. So the person, I say, create some problem for you, then we look in that angle, then this person really creates a lot of problem for me, so I consider this my enemy. Then you see anger come. So at that moment, I think that basically that person, if you ask, your enemy, today's enemy, from birth, whether you're enemy or not, no. And become your enemy, troublemaker, without any causes or factor, no. It's the person who creates a little bit negative attitude towards you. There are many causes. And in that part of cause, you also made some contribution. So you cannot blame entirely on that person. You also, you see, among the among the factor which creates that person who shows negative attitude towards you. For example, or small things happen, you immediately, you see, express negative. Then that negativeness feeling keep in your mind, day and weeks, months, years. Then you get the impression that negativeness increasing. So something happened, that short moment, some angry face, harsh word. The next day, finished. Then no problem. So these things, and my friend, one scientist, the Aaron Beck, now his age 97 or 98. So once he told me, when we develop anger, the object appears something very negative. But actually, that negativeness, actually 90% of that negativeness is your own mental projection. So therefore, I think we can examine our own experience. You see, due to certain factor, you see you lost your anger with someone. Then that moment, you see, you feel,
you feel disgusted with the person, the thing that you don't want to see him or her anymore.
Then the intensity of anger really reduce. Then someone telling you, or that person, some nice word about you. Immediately, you see, when you heard that, you see, your sort of mental attitude completely changed. If this negativeness is something absolute, then the factor which you feel angry, you see, remain. But due to certain sort of factor, you change that. So therefore, see, the most of the destructive emotion is actually very much mixed with mental exaggeration. So we have this wonderful brain. So we should utilize this wonderful brain, analyze and look from wider perspective. And poor animal, they have no such ability. So they cannot think holistic way or analyze the situation. We have this wonderful brain. Sometimes I describe, or if you believe Creator, then the God give us, you see, this wonderful brain. So when we develop emotions, we must utilize this wonderful intelligence, analyze, and look from different angle. Same person, from one angle, yes, you feel irritation. Same person, from another angle, looks neutral. Another angle, you may feel, wonderful, good, like that. So therefore, the reality, something relative, no absolute. So when our destructive emotion develop only from one angle, so the antidote of that, when develop anger, you try to look that object from different angle. Rekasa, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, even 6 dimension. From above, look, from below, look. So this, I think only human being can do, other animals cannot do. So it is really worthwhile, to utilize extraordinary intelligence or extraordinary brain which we have. If you become slave of destructive emotions such as anger, then hardly you are, because of following animals or because of the attitude like that, or tiger or these things. They cannot, you see, they have no such ability. That's my view.
I'm curious, you mentioned anger, Your Holiness, and here at a place of healing, there are many, many people who have serious illness, and they have trouble accepting that diagnosis. Do you have advice as to how a person can accept their situation and move through it so they can continue to live?
그래서 what do you mean?
As you know,
But if you through blood pressure, also the blood test, or all these things, and that, I think if sensible patient must accept.
some people, as you know, though, Your Holiness, fight and cannot accept their diagnosis.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I've heard that. So I'm
It
curious.
looks me, that's foolish.
Any advice as to accepting?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm
See,
good with that. I'm good with that.
I think firstly, you see, let that person cool down. Talk some nice things. And then it's their mind a little bit cool down. Then, firstly, you should express your real concern. Let that person feel, oh, this person really taking care of me seriously. Then eventually, they, make known those difficult or seriousness, may be better.
I understand.
I think the nurse or doctor is telling this negative thing without smile. Then maybe the patient, you see, more difficult to accept. You see, you showed your serious concern about their sort of well-being, their illness, and showing you also, because of your own sort of the sense of worry or concern. Then maybe, I think sensible patient, I think then will listen. If still not listening, then that's the exception. then I don't know.
When it comes to, Your Holiness, some patients who do listen and accept, some people, as you know, are able to view cancer or their terminal illness as a blessing or a gift. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, this is some Tibetan, some good practitioner as well as good scholar. You see, one day, I know him. You see, he met me, and then he told me, now he already got some incurable sort of illness. So the doctor saying something very serious illness. Then he told doctor, if my illness is really, you see, incurable, cannot cure, or terminal, then let me know. Then I'm thinking something preparation. Of course, we is thinking the life after life. So then, very good. Let me know the reality. Then accordingly, I will prepare. He told me that. So, some people, even you see, the seriousness about illness, you see, do not say want to hear. This is self-deceiving.
Self-deceiving.
Like that. So, but then individuals, different disposition. So you have to act or treat according individual. So what's the case? Like that. I don't know.
We have so many questions from our audience and their caregivers. Here's a question from the audience, Your Holiness. How can we, as caregivers, deal with feeling helpless and frustrated when there's nothing more we can do for a patient?
There's some cases, yes, it is a reality. You try your best, but then impossible to cure. Accept the reality. So then, is it just provide loving kindness or smile and sort of give them the feeling of loving kindness. So I think the person, as I already mentioned, person at the time of dying, I think some kind of, because of the high spirit, that is important. So that comes surrounded by people with smile and with kasota, affection. That at least, you see, keeps some kind of high spirits already. So if we, if you know those people who have the concept of life after life, then they at the time of dying, the mental state is very, very important for next life. And people, I think, according Christianity, you see, at the moment dying, remember God. And meantime, your spirit should be very high, more optimistic, more sort of positive. So that, I think, the very important sort of immediate sort of cause is to go to heaven. At that moment, demoralize, and too much sort of anger or worry. Even though usually this is a very religious-minded person, but at the time of dying, that kind of sort of completely lost hope and demoralized. And the worst thing, some agitated mind is very dangerous. Like that.
there are many people here, Your Holiness, who have worked with the dying, and you know, caregiving is a very difficult task, doctors and
Of
nurses.
course.
Do you have advice on how caregivers can balance practicing compassion without burning out emotionally?
Of course, difficult to say. I have no such experience. So imagine if I imagine just simply you see I think at that such moment, the thinking, as I mentioned earlier, from wider perspective, just thinking that the particular circumstances or reality, but look from wider perspective. That I think helpful. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. So, I think the most sort of destructive emotion actually very much link with usually we call ignorance. That means not knowing the reality, because you are sort of focusing just one aspect. So the only remedy is looking that from wider perspective, then you can see the reality, different aspect of the reality. As a human being, I think basically that's our thinking. Therefore, you see, some part of our curriculum, you see, study about the system of our mind, system of our emotion. And then, you see, the emotion, something because of vast and interconnectedness. So knowing these things, then easier to tackle certain sort of particular emotions, like that. So these are, usually we do that, but I don't know.
Would you like another question, Your Holiness? To be compassionate, do you have to believe in a personal God?
Don't know that. To be compassionate, must one believe in a personal God?
Yes.
I think yes and no both. To many people, yes. I feel very purpose of concept of God and Creator is to develop firm sort of the conviction, the value of compassion. So to some people, they believe God, a personal God, or this very life created by God. So each individual, you see, develop some kind of sense of very close sort of closeness with God, like our Father. So more closeness feeling, more willingness, and also more sort of courage. I am Son of God. God described infinite love. So we all have seed of that compassion. And also, you see, my Father always taking care of me, always look after me, like that. Wonderful. At the same time, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. And among about 6 billion believer, different beliefs. Some sort of ancient Indian tradition is no concept of creator, but rather self-creation. So you see, different perceptions, like that. So each have their own sort of beauty. So people who follower of Christianity or Islam or Judaism and many other ancient Indian non-Buddhist tradition or non-Buddhism, because non-Buddhist as well as non-Jainism, you see, they believe Creator. Then Jainism, Buddhism, no concept of God, because of Creator. So it's a different mental disposition. Therefore, there are now almost 3,000 years, you see, the different time, different area, with different cultural heritage, different way of life, you see these different sort of philosophical views, you see, develop. So each have its own beauty. And it is very helpful to overall humanity. I think this is very good among the humanity. So many different mental dispositions. So different way of approach to promote inner value. Wonderful. Then to non-believer, as I mentioned briefly, one of my commitment is promotion of human value. That also I call kasota, basic.
Secular ethics.
Secular ethics, mabit kasa.
Universal compassion.
Oh.
Ethics, basic ethics.
I don't know, it's basic ethics or something. Because now in India, the Indian constitution itself is very much based on secular concept. So according to Indian understanding, some Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. In the West, secular means disrespect religion and also some, I think, negative attitudes toward religion. So the very word secular, different sort of the interpretation. So in any way, now out of 7 billion, over 1 billion non-believer, these are also human beings. I think one problem is those non-believer, since they do not accept any sort of spirituality, spiritual value, so they also, you see, not much pay attention about love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, these things. So that's a mistake. Whether accept religion or not, that's one question. These basic human value, so long they are human being, you have to sort of give this deeper value. Without love, how can develop happy family without love and kindness? And actually, we are social animal. Social animal, you see, they mentally, emotionally, there must be some sort of the way of thinking which bring together. That's love. And with love, sense of community. So then we are social animal. One individual, no matter how powerful, just one single person cannot survive. Our survival depends on rest of the community. Now today's world, each individual's future very much related with 7 billion human beings. 7 billion human beings happy, and you individual have maximum benefit. If 7 billion human beings, a lot of turmoil or something, killing each other, like today's sort of situation, and one individual difficult to feel happy or peace. So therefore, whether believe religion or not, you are a human being. You want happy life. So happy life from material, from money, from power, superficial. The real happiness is related with mental experience, not sensorial experience. Sensorial experience, animal also have same. We human being, this marvelous intelligence, either you see become source of happiness or source of worry. You have all the facilities, but at the same time can be very, very unhappy person. Other hand, materially poor, but mentally very happy. One occasion I met a Catholic monk in Montserrat in Barcelona. No, not Barcelona, in Spain. So I met one Catholic monk. See, he spent, I was told, he spent 5 years in the mountain, hermit life, very little hot meal, tea and bread. When he come to see me, I already informed that story way. So I asked him, I was told, you see, you spent 5 years in mountain, hermit life, and very little facility. What kind of practice, what kind of meditation? And he answered me, meditate on love. When he mentioned that, in his eyes, something very, very special, joyful because of expression. So such person, deliberately, you see, choose very simple simplicity, simple life, very little facility, but that person enjoy immensely inner peace, happiness. And some of the billionaire, you see, very rich. I know some billionaire. You see, when we, after exchange some nice words, then when we become something closer, then they express their deeper feeling, too much worry. Billionaire, at the same time, very unhappy person. So money, matter, cannot produce inner peace, peace of mind. Peace of mind is a must develop within our own mind, not rely on external facilities. Actually, physical difficulties can subdue with because of the mental peace. But mental because of the crisis or disturbed mind cannot subdue by money, by power. So obviously, the mental level experience is more important than the physical level experiences. So we as a human being, the God's gift of this wonderful brain, so we should utilize that brain in order to keep inner peace. Then you can consider genuine human being. If we just use sensorial experiences, some sort of nice nice scenery or something, or sports, and music, and taste, and smell, and touch, including sex. If you only consider these things are something very important, then like animal. So we, as a human being, we must sort of utilize a deeper level of our ability to think, to tackle our emotions, irrespective whether believer or non-believer. So that I usually call, without relying on religious belief, use our intelligence and try to reduce destructive emotion, and through increasing constructive emotion, like that. So if you have believe God, wonderful. If you haven't, okay. Still you are a human being.
Well said. I'm curious, we have another question from the audience, Your Holiness. Compassion is born of human connection,
Yes.
right? So as we go forward, the world is so technologically driven. How do you keep that connection in order to foster compassion with a world that's driven by very impersonal technology, including in the medical field?
Technology, machines, only used to provide physical comfort, not mind. So the method to bring mental peace, I think in the future maybe the technology may sort of may produce peace of mind. I don't know. I think at least another 1 century.